Manual testing interview questions, part 1. First question: what is software testing and its importance? Software testing is the process performed to ensure that the developed code is working as expected or if there are any deviations. Software testing is an important part of software development lifecycle. Testing is performed to check if the developed software is working correctly by following the guidelines provided by the clients. Testing is important to check whether the software is defect free and performs as per the given requirements. Testing also ensures the functional and non functional performance of the developed software is good or not. What is SDLC? SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. Software development lifecycle is a process used by the software industry to design, develop, and test high quality softwares. SDLC is a process followed for a software project within a software organization. The following figure is a graphical representation of the various stages of a typical SDLC. So the process starts with planning, defining, designing, building, testing, and finally deployment. Third question: what are the popular SDLC models? So below are the popular models. First one is waterfall, spiral, V&V, agile. Waterfall model. This is the process diagram of the waterfall model. It starts with requirement gathering, then designing, then development, followed by testing, final deployment, and after that maintenance. Waterfall model is a sequential model. Waterfall model follows a sequence. Unless the first stage is completed, the next stage cannot be started. At the end of each phase, a review takes place to determine if the project is on the right path and whether or not to continue or discard the project. There are some advantages and also some disadvantages. So let's start. First advantage is easy to understand and follow. Suitable for smaller projects. It is cost effective. Disadvantages are no scope for change. Product's functionality can be outdated. High amount of risk and uncertainty. Inflexible. And it is not suitable for complex and object-oriented projects. The waterfall model is recommended for the projects which have a clear and straightforward understanding of the requirements, designs, technical tools, and infrastructure. Spiral model. So this is the sequence diagram of the spiral model. As you can see, it starts with determining the objective, then identifying and resolving the risk, then development and testing, and finally release and planning for the next iteration. The spiral model is a combination of the iterative and sequential model. The spiral model has 4 phases as you've seen in the diagram. The software project repeatedly passes through these phases in iterations called spirals. The advantages are it is highly suitable for large projects, offers better risk handling facility until delivery, customer satisfaction, and requirements can be added or modified flexibly. There are disadvantages. It is highly dependent on the correct risk analysis. It is not suitable for small projects as it is expensive, and it is a complex model, difficult to know the definite end date of the project. V&V model. This is the sequence diagram. It starts with business requirement, then system requirement gathering, high level design, low level design, and then coding. Once the coding is completed, it goes to unit testing, integration testing, system, and then finally acceptance testing. So V model is an SDLC model where execution of processes happen in a sequential manner in a V shape. It is also known as verification and validation model. The V model is an extension of waterfall model and each testing phase is associated with its corresponding development stage. Let's see the advantages. It is also a sequential model, suitable for smaller projects, simple and easy to understand and use. Disadvantages are high risk and uncertainty, not suitable for complex and object-oriented projects or long and ongoing projects. It is not suitable for the projects with undefined requirements. Functionality cannot be changed once testing starts. No working software is produced until late during the lifecycle. Next is Agile model. This is the sequence diagram of the Agile model. As you can see, Agile follows sprint system and the coding and development testing, everything is done in a repetitive, iterative manner. We will discuss about it in separate sessions. Agile is a time-boxed, iterative approach to software delivery that builds software incrementally from start of the project instead of delivering it all at once at the end. The advantages are high customer satisfaction is achieved. New changes can be implemented at any point of time. A working version of software is delivered frequently. Disadvantages are developers and clients are under great pressure. lack of necessary documentation, and difficult to maintain the pace with the latest trends. What is the software testing life cycle? So this is the sequence. First, the requirement analysis is done, then test planning is done, then test case development is completed, and after that environment setup is done, and finally the test is executed. And once everything is passed, the test cycle will be closed. So software testing life cycle, or popularly known as STLC, is a sequence of specific activities controlled during the testing of the process to ensure the software quality goals are met. STLC involves both verification and validation activities. It consists of a series of activities carried out systematically to help clarify your software. So each stage has an entry and exit criteria. And the entry criteria is it gives the prerequisite items that must be completed before testing can begin. And the exit criteria defines the item that must be completed before testing can be concluded. What are the types of software testing? So this is a very important chart. You can maybe pause here and make a note of this. It is very straightforward and easy to remember. What are the levels of testing? First one is unit testing, which is performed by the developers. A unit testing is the smallest testable portion of the system or application which can be compiled, loaded, and executed. Integration testing, which is performed by testers. Integration means basically combining. So in this testing phase, different software modules are combined and tested as a group to make sure that the integrated system is ready for the system testing. Next is system testing, which is again performed by the testers. System testing is performed on a complete integrated system. It allows checking systems compliance as per the requirements. Next is acceptance testing, which is usually performed by the users or customers. So acceptance testing is a test conducted to find if the requirements of a specification or contract are met as per its delivery. Next, what are the deliverables of testing? Test strategy, test plan and estimation, test scenario, test case and test data, requirements traceability metrics known as RTM, test summary report, test closure report, incident. What is the difference between black, white and gray box testing? Black box testing is a software testing method in which the internal structure, basically the code of the product being tested, is not known to the tester. White box testing is a software testing method in which the internal code of the item being tested is known to the tester. And in gray box, it is actually a combination of both white and black, so the code is partially known to the tester. What is the difference between functional and non-functional testing? So functional testings are basically unit testing, integration testing system, and acceptance testing, whereas non-functional testings are performance, security, reusability, or compatibility. So basically functional testings are performed before the non-functional testing, as you can see, and the functional testing is based on customers' requirements. The non-functional testings are based on the company standards. The functional testing is easy to define, but the non-functional testings are not easy to define, as you really don't know how much pressure or stress or compatibility issues might arise in future. Then the functional testing helps validate the behavior of the application. With functional testing, the software functionality is evaluated. With non-functional testing, the software performance is evaluated. Functional testing is carried out using functional specifications, and non-functional kind of testing is carried out by the performance specifications. So basically, functional testing is what describes what the product does, okay? And non-functional testing describes how the product should work and how is it working. Last question is, what are the roles and responsibilities of manual testers? Writing test cases based on the user requirement document, executing the test cases both manual and automated as per requirements, executing test scripts and reviewing results, reporting and logging technical issues, creating logs to document testing phases and defects, reporting bugs and errors to development team, help troubleshoot or reproduce issues, conduct post-release, post-implementation testing, and work with cross-functional teams to ensure quality throughout the software development lifecycle. I hope this session was useful to you. If you still have any questions, please mention in the comment section, and we will meet you in our upcoming video with a new topic. Please subscribe to our channel to support us, and if you like this video, hit on the like button. Take care and bye.